Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana Live. You found us in whatever podcast app you're using. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Be sure to hit that download button and that subscribe. But it's Monday, June 15th, 1:06 p.m., my friends, which means
we are live on youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
hello, all the YouTubers, all the Poison Pals, the friends, the frogs. I mentioned it's a Monday. We usually go live here on Sunday, but yesterday was my avô, my grandpa, my Portuguese side, 90th birthday. And I could not miss a big fam jam like that. So apologies. But thank you, Davie. Sometimes you work Mondays, so we can't usually record, but you said you were off today. So we managed to still squeeze in a show today.
Yeah, I feel I needed this day off. It's been a crazy week with the World Cup going on. So I'm grateful to have the Sunday and Monday off. And yeah, I don't mind if I'm about. A rare Monday show is good. Little housekeeping as well for all our patrons listening. We haven't dropped our King of the Ring 96 review quite yet because it ended up going a lot longer than we were expecting. So that will be dropping in your feeds tonight. But on top of that, you'll also be getting a show later in the week to make good for last week.
Absolutely. Yeah. We recorded a few days ago, but we just talked too much about Ahmed Johnson's armbands. Yep. And gold dust and so much more. So it will be a good show. I can promise that. But it will be dropping later tonight on the Patreon. We're doing King of the Ring 1996. We're thinking of going back to 1996 for Great American Bash, since we're the NXT guys at Post Wrestling, kind of ties in with them doing the Bash in a couple weeks. And then we also want to try to fit in the original Jackass movie, since WrestleMania legend Johnny Knoxville coming out with the last Jackass movie. At least they say it is. You know, it's kind of like wrestling. Like I think they're calling it Jackass the End, but like
it'll end up being, oh well, you know, when we said last, we meant the last Jackass movie of the 2020s. You know,
right.
Like,
well, you've seen the video of him where his doctor is basically, this video went viral where his doctor is like, hey man, like after this, you cannot like do some of these stunts. And I think it was talking about like the bulls. Like you shouldn't be doing anything with bulls, bull riding, getting hit by bulls, because you've almost died a few times on camera.
Being hit in the balls.
Yeah, like, bulls, yeah. And Knoxville just starts to like break down and cry and get emotional of like, but it's what I do, essentially. So that was the best hard sell for this new Jackass movie, because he's just like, well, I'm going out with a bang, I guess. So we'll take a look at the original Jackass movie from 2002 sometime this week on the Patreon. So for any jackasses out there who maybe are fond and love the nostalgia of people getting hit in the nuts and so forth, we will be reviewing that movie. I love Jackass, don't get me wrong. I can't wait to do the review because it'll make for some great conversations. But I almost wish we picked another movie from the 2000s, Idiocracy. I really feel like we should just review that. Yeah, because we're living in it, is what it feels like this week. Like literally, if you don't know that movie, go watch it. It's a documentary about the future made in the 2000s, and well, the future is now, and some of the things in that movie have come true. So yeah, have you seen that movie?
I don't think I have.
Okay. Like, don't get me wrong, it's no you know,
maybe
it's
not,
but
it's not like, yeah, well, nothing is. Maybe not.
It's basically what the president is a pro wrestler.
Okay.
I think Terry Crews. And then they have fights on the White House lawn. They have motorcycles doing jumps. It's weird. It's like looking into a crystal ball all these years ago. But yeah, maybe one day we'll review this movie.
Did you watch any of Freedom 250 yesterday?
Freedom! I didn't put it on, but I looked at, stuff from social media. Looks exactly what you would. The vibes were immaculate, right? One of the biggest sausage fests I've ever seen. It just looks like a big circle jerk. I can get into MMA and UFC. I totally was watching it back in the 2000s. I was a fan, and then the rise in popularity, but also the rise of the attachment of MAGA and all that stuff has completely thrown me off of it. And I think maybe some other fans, but just seeing the videos of this, look, even if political or not, in today's age, everything fucking is, it seems. So this just seemed like a giant, birthday party for Sleepy Dawn. So I don't know. I didn't have any interest in actually physically putting, like, I could not actually press play. Even I don't know if it was free. I'm sure it cost money. You had to pay in what you had to enter your SIN number
on Paramount Plus. Right?
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
So I assume it was traditional pay-per-view over here.
Yeah, you got to buy it in crypto, I imagine, or somehow when you buy it, you get crypto. I don't know how that works, but what did all the fighters get paid in Donald Trump crypto as well? I mean, apparently the whole thing's rigged, anyways. According to, is it Eric Trump, the son, one of the sons?
Yes.
Is that the one where he didn't go to his birthday party, but he still showed up to the fights on the White House lawn? But your dad didn't come to your wedding. Yeah. Did you see this stuff with Daniel Cormier?
What, asking how many of the games, how many fights are going to be fixed?
This is so weird. This is like Twitter conspiracy now. I refuse to call it X. So Daniel Cormier tweets these things out saying, like, why is Eric Trump asking me if this is rigged? Why is he asking me about injuries? Why is he asking me on who to put money on? And then quickly deleted the tweet. And then Eric Trump has tweeted and deleted quite a few times, trying to, with different reasons of what this, like, fake AI, this isn't real. And then Cormier then tweets out being like, why are people so stupid? And then when asked about it, when leaving the event, he just said, oh no, I was hacked or something. Bro, he said, or something. That tells you everything you need to know that someone is lying. And I think it might be both of them. I think Eric Trump got caught. Cormier tried to do the right thing, and then probably Dana White put the gun to his head like, bro, you working the show tonight or not? Delete that shit. Yeah. And he probably did, and now he's probably sworn to secrecy. So in case you were wondering, is the UFC rigged? I don't know, but they don't want you to think that right now with all the conspiracies and money and all crypto bullshit.
I was hacked or something.
I was hacked or something is my new explanation. Whenever you get in trouble,
I had a bump and I'm not responsible for my tweets during that time.
Just ridiculous. It just adds more, like, shit to the list of, like, why you wouldn't want to watch this kind of stuff. And, like, hey, all the power to, I'm seeing people sort of defending it, being like, hey, it looked good. It had a giant eagle. Donald Trump looked like it was Weekend at Bernie's. He looked like he was a zombie, essentially. I don't know how much makeup they can put on this guy's arm and hands going forward, but I think it's just a full-on robot arm like Luke Skywalker at this point. But wow, this was quite a show. Did you happen to watch any of it?
Yeah, so I had quite a fun day yesterday because I had the day off. We weren't recording. So I went and enjoyed the World Cup. I went bar hopping. I started off at Man of Kent for the Germany game, which is pretty fun. I then met up with some friends at Japas, a Japanese bar in the city, to watch Japan-Netherlands. And I was wearing my Japan jersey I got from Vietnam, and we were just full on supporting Japan for that game. And it was probably the most exciting game of the tournament so far. Oh, yeah. That was a lot of fun. And, a lot of Japanese people there going crazy. So enjoyed that. And then we were looking, all right, where's the Ivory Coast bar in the city? Doesn't seem to be one, unfortunately. So went to the Dog's Bollocks and was enjoying the game there. But then they were setting up for Freedom 250. And, we went there, like, beginning of the game. They put on the sound for us. We were clearly watching it. We weren't like, nursing a Diet Coke. We were spending money there. And they've got lots of TVs, lots of things set up. And 20 minutes before the end of the game, they switched it off. And first they cut the sound off to put the sound on for the wank fest at the White House. So I watched the opening of that, and there were boos in the bar when it showed Trump. But I get it. I know they're like a UFC MMA bar, but then they turned off the screen we were watching like 20 minutes before the end, and we kind of like asked the girl, it's like, hey, can we just see the end of this?
End of the game?
We came here for this, to watch this. And
furious.
She's like, I don't know, so many people asking, and was like super blasé and walked off. So I had just ordered a round of shots, and she went to pour them, and I went, no, forget that. Like, cash me out, I'm leaving. I get it. Like, I've been on the other end. It's hard to keep everyone happy, but at least give a heads up. I could have moved somewhere else at halftime. Just be like, hey guys, just to let you know, at this time, we're going to be putting on the fights and the hockey. I found it like a little bit rude. And so that kind of irked me a bit.
Sport, you never skip the end of the game. Like someone who works. Yeah. I remember at TSN, people be like, we have to play the end of the game. I'm like, well, yeah. Like, what if look at the basketball game the other night where there was 4 seconds left or something, and the game drastically changed. Like, people had left that game. Yeah, so like you always gotta at least play the final buzzer. Maybe skip the post, but I guess at a bar and people wanted to watch UFC or I guess.
Yeah, like, which is totally fine, but it's one of those bars with a lot of TVs. All I'm asking is the one we've been sat in front of before everyone else showed up. We were spending money there before other people were, like, let us finish it at least, but oh well. So that kind of put me in a sour mood. And yeah, I just thought the whole White House thing just looked absolutely ridiculous. Trump marching down to the octagon with Dana White, just like, it's not for me. So I moved on. I ended up going to a Mexican bar next door, watching the end of the Ecuador Ivory Coast game there. And then I was thinking about going to IKEA to watch the Sweden game, but I ended up gradually making my way home. Probably. But no, it was a fun day getting to watch all the football, get into the spirit. I've been enjoying, we're a diverse city and we have a lot of tourism and stuff here, but it's been kind of cool seeing everyone out in their country's jerseys and people visiting. And like, I've been watching like TikToks of tourists and how they've been experiencing like our city or some of the other host cities. And I don't know, the vibes have felt pretty good so far on week one. I've been enjoying it. Yeah.
I definitely understand if people out at the events, people go out to bars and watch UFC and stuff like that. And I think this also maybe alienated some people. Like, there are friends of ours who are huge UFC fans, but they don't like the direction it's gone. So they're kind of torn watching it. Like, well, I don't want to be part of this, but at the same time, like, these are some big fights. Like, I totally do get it. And I think, what if this was WWE? I would still feel the ick that I have for it, but I'd probably watch it. Whereas this one, I just chose not to. I'm like, I probably can live my life without watching this. I don't watch UFC on a regular basis anyways, so I watched some of the clips. I've seen some of the entrances. Again, the eagle, Trump walking through, you had all the army salutes and all this, but it was makeup on a pig. It was lipstick on a pig. It's like, you're doing all this scummy shit, and even if you were like, no, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, let's watch it. It's supposed to be this patriotic thing. There's countless reasons that I've seen, let alone the Daniel Cormier, Eric Trump stuff. But the one fighter cutting that promo after a fight and then just randomly shitting on Michelle Obama for no reason. I think that might be a news story coming out of this. Like, you took all the spotlight off of like, look, it's so patriotic, to now people being like, oh, what's this white trash party that happened on the White House lawn? And that's exactly what it came across as me. Like, this nasty group of people that just love to be nasty, and they all congregate together to be this and talk about your advertising and your cryptos and your all this on top of it, it just seems scummy to me. And like,
Absolutely.
it just seems
Like the
gross.
visual of it, like it looked cool, right? So like I remember when Brian May played God Save the Queen on his guitar on the roof of Buckingham Palace. Like there's certain
Right.
visuals like that, which are like, that's cool. And maybe a different administration, a different time, a different political climate, you know, maybe this would have been like, I'd have given it more of a go. But I just feel there's so much hatred from that White House that comes out, so much hatred from these fighters with their dumb fucking opinions about stuff. UFC, which claimed not to be political, yeah, it's doing a show on the White House and the president is pumping money into the UFC and TKO. And like all of that, it's just, it feels dirty. And I'm watching it and I'm just like, yeah, feeling quite sick, watching Trump and Dana, watching the jets fly overhead. It's like, as you said, like first fight right away, it's calling Michelle Obama a man and stuff like that. It's like, this is not a unifying the country
Absolutely
kind of
not.
event. It doesn't feel, this feels like a rally. It feels like Trump's birthday party, and they're just disguising it as this America 250 thing. I thought it was a whole lot of ick. And yeah, I have no interest in UFC. You know, I kind of watched a bit during the pandemic because what else was going on. But when I'm aware of the people behind it and the people, and I know hypocrisy. We're going to go on to talk about WWE in a sec, but it just, I don't know, it just feels nasty. And it's not anything I want to show any of my support to.
It's idiocracy, like literally crazy. Seeing motors flips on the fucking White House, like, oh, the war in Iran is ended, and you're all gonna foot the bill for this guy's mistakes, missile mistakes, I guess I should say, conspiracies. What are my other favorite words? Coercion? No, there's a few other C words. Yeah, it's gross. And you know, and another thing, like we're in the world of pro wrestling and we're just two guys who sound off and stuff, but we give honest opinions. We have no dog in the fight. This just gave me the ick. But on top of it, seeing other prominent people with way higher position of power in this kind of world and landscaping, whether it means like, you know, podcasting or YouTube or just having a voice. And, you know, I just see more journalists turned into actors essentially, and bootlickers, unfortunately. And it's so gross to see and just laughable. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I'll be watching UFC anymore, but I can't say I've been watching it lately. But we got to get excited for the Conor McGregor fight, you know?
Do we?
Conor McGregor, of course. Yeah, who also has a clean slate, nothing going on.
Oh no, he's a great guy. He's perfect. Like, yeah.
I don't know. All the power to the people who want to watch that stuff. Sure, go for it. But wow, that was quite the white trash party. So all the power to the people. You all paid for it. So good luck. I hope your groceries are cheaper this week. I hope the gas goes down. It won't. It definitely won't. But I hope Eric Trump's bets came in good. I hope he picked the right rigged fight.
Well, it doesn't look like mine in right now. Spain somehow are not absolutely annihilating Cape Verde. This should be like a 5-0 game, and it's still 0-0 in the 65th minute. So, yeah, that bet ain't coming in. But maybe I need to talk to Daniel Cormier and see what games are fixed.
Who's injured?
Woke up. Yeah.
and then delete the tweet instantly. It has been cool going to like the World Cup. You know, that's another thing I feel the ick about too. Don't get it twisted. But for a while it's on, I'll ride the wave. I'll wave my flag, sure, but don't forget the peace prize. They're all in it too. FIFA's coming out of this $15 billion richer. Our city, our tax bills, not going to be the case once they skip on out of here. But for the most part, seeing Canada come together the other day was really cool and really special, because World Cup has been something you would watch as a kid. You know, we're only in our 30s, but like people, even years and years. I come from a half Portuguese family, half Canadian. So all the Portuguese folks, some British people in my family. We always would get together and watch the footy. But now seeing it in this country and being represented that way for the first time was a pretty big deal. So it was cool to see that. I thought Michael Bublé came out. What do you think? Some Sam Cooke. That was pretty cool. I thought they did a good job of like, hey, look, we're Canada. We got some moose, some polar bears, some good singers. We're nice people. All right. So even though we tied, and some
Which
of the
is
people were
good.
like, which
So-
I didn't even think we would do that. So hey, good
Right.
for us.
I mean, right now, like that was a game we could have won. We looked like the better team, but sorry, what game was it? Switzerland drawing against Qatar is very good for us because right now everyone's on 1 goal each in our group. Everyone's on 1 point in our group. So we have a good chance of beating Qatar, and if we can sneak a draw against Switzerland, we should. I'm feeling optimistic that Canada should advance to the next round, which is great because then you're in the knockout stages. England has their first game on Wednesday, trying to figure out where to watch that and who to watch that with. But yeah, they've got a very late game. But I guess I'm supporting Japan now as well because that was a fun time yesterday.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's cool having like, we're in Toronto. We're such a big like smorgasbord. We're a big melting pot, as people always like to call. But like, we have people from everywhere in this city, and seeing the city come alive with people with their flags and their jerseys representing, Portugal, Japan, Korea, like it's all really cool. But the best part about the World Cup that actually tugged at my heartstrings is the clips of, was it Korea and Mexico and all the different people in the fans, and they're all just loving each other and showing support and like, celebrating different cultures and all that stuff. Some Koreans and Mexicans making out, it's what the world should be, love and everything. So that's the real unit. Give the peace prize to those. Give the peace prize to those.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, that's, and I remember it somewhat with the London 2012 Olympics, that there was all this negativity going into it. Oh, it's the city's going to be crowded and they're not going to handle it, and transit's going to be shit and everything. And then you realize you're like, people don't talk on the tube in London, but then you see someone and they're wearing a, Ghana t-shirt or whatever. And you're like, oh, you came from Ghana for this? And they're like, yeah. And everyone seems to be in a good mood until their team loses. But yeah, it's cool. And like, I've been seeing on TikTok and Reels, people discovering our city and being like, wow, Toronto's great. Like, I've come here from XYZ, and like hearing that everyone's been hospitable, apart from maybe that bartender yesterday switching off my game. But yeah, it's good to see. And like, I worked the Brazil-Morocco game, which was busier than the Canada game. Like, it was same, like we were at capacity for both, but that Brazil-Canada game had, Brazil-Morocco. Brazilians know how to party. So they were drinking a lot and partying a lot throughout that game. And then as soon as it finished, it cleared out and the Knicks game started. So the NBA finals. So we were slammed for that. But it's been a good weekend for sport.
This was one of the biggest weekends in sport, I think, ever, including the White House white trash party. I feel like there was the NBA finals, the NHL finals last night, and on top of that, the World Cup. So like, there was just so much, and Collision on Saturday night. So like, there's all the sport going on. I think this is the most sport I've actually watched in a long time. Like, usually I always joke like, real sports, I watch the wrestling, but we were in New York and we got to like see the Knicks fever kind of taking over. Now, we didn't go to any games or anything, but I was like, I like the story here with the Knicks, and they've not won in a long time. We can definitely understand that, being from Toronto here, about teams not winning. But I kind of got into it, and then I mentioned at work, ABC feeds, they were all airing like the finals, so I was watching way more games, and I was feeling like Ben Stiller on the court, like, yeah, fuck it, go Knicks, let's do this. And then the past few games I've been watching, and then Saturday for the finals, we had a group of us go to your bar on your patio on Queen Street, and it was packed. So many people in Toronto. Toronto, we're such like I don't want to say Torontonians are fake, but I see way too many girls walking around with Trader Joe tote bags. We don't even have Trader Joe's in Canada, and Nick jerseys and everything. I think it's because we're like an hour flight away. So Torontonians and New Yorkers, like it's the easiest trip to go to, the closest place to go to.
I think Torontonians understand a drought as well, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. The Leafs.
67 since the Leafs last won a Stanley
7.
Cup. So yeah, I think they understand when you hear it's been 54 years since the Knicks have won
something like that,
their last championship, something like that. I think we can get behind. Like, we like a good underdog story. So yeah, and New York are kind of our neighbors. You know, we have New Yorkers come here a lot for Yankees games and things like that. And obviously we go back and forth. We've got a lot of friends and listeners in New York, and we go there a couple of times a year usually. So yeah, I was fully rooting the Knicks for this one. And
loved that other game with that, again, the last few seconds of the game with the tip. It reminded me of the Kawhi shot.
Oh, that was insane.
2019. Yeah, it's at like that. That was nuts. I felt like Adam Sandler and Timothée Chalamet losing their minds. They were like, what? It went in? What? How did that even happen? Like, really cool. So seeing them win, that's great. New York, I hope they're okay. It's been a few days, but like, I could not imagine the destruction of Manhattan, Brooklyn, even, of just what these people were up to Saturday and Sunday. It was probably like a 2-day party, and New Yorkers are probably very hungover. But what's the Batman No Man's Land, that the Dark Knight Rises? Like, that's pretty much what that looked like, I bet. Like, chaotic scenes, but I hope everyone was safe. I think we learned from that few other days ago where like the Spurs fan got beat up, which was totally not cool. But then this time around, you saw that video of the Spurs guy walking around beating everybody up, like, don't fuck with me. So great stuff all around. Sports weekend. But yeah.
The psycho in the chat saying, I'm not even a basketball fan, but went to a bar here in LA for the Knicks game on Saturday, and it was wild, so loud in there. I think that's the thing. Like, I always say, the reason why I like wrestling is it's sport with storytelling. And I find if I can get behind a story in a sport, I can get really invested. And you know, that comeback in, was it game 4, with, as you said, that crazy finish to the game, similarly to like Saturday's game, like a huge comeback in that as well. You hear about they haven't won the championship for so long. Like, you can get behind the narrative of it and get sucked up in the moment. And when other people are like clear diehard fans around you losing their mind, it's hard not to get swept up into it all.
Okada, I think he was at some games. He was rocking. Nixon 5, bitch. Maybe he was a good luck charm, unlike President Trump. I do think he cost them the game. He should have been Nixon 4.
Like, I know you're really invested in this Miz, Kit Wilson, Danhausen story that's been going on for months on SmackDown right now. But I think we found the antidote to Danhausen's curses or uncurses, and it is Donald J. Trump. So the only game they've lost since this curse was taken was when the president's in there. So the dark side of the force outpowering the good side, the light side.
It is funny, like, seeing that whole Danhausen uncurse the Knicks, and then they just started going on the tear. And then Trump being at MSG just fucked the whole vibe up for that city, putting up a wall. I guess that's the wall he was talking about for all those years, but around MSG. People who worked there that night had to go in at like 7 or 8 in the morning to do security clearance. Like, the president's there, I guess, very high security for MSG. All for him to fall asleep for most of the game. And then they
probably
lose.
Farting.
Yeah. Just great moods at MSG. Just seeing that. It's like, oh, and that's the one game they lost? Suspicious? Suspicious or not? Or Eric Trump probably thought it was rigged anyways. But, you know, Adam Sandler was at some of these games. Okada was. Timothée Chalamet. I didn't see any of those people at the Freedom 250 fight. You hear Adam Sandler politely declined, as did the Dwayne The Rock Johnson respectfully declined. But all the stars were out at UFC 250. Okay, the only maybe 2 people I did recognize. The tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and Triple H sitting pretty, watching the fights on the White House lawn. Wow. Is that
I mean,
shocker for some
that's
people?
I don't think that's too surprising, really. It's, I mean, Triple H, I figured would be.
I'm shocked.
It's a TKO thing. Roman, I mean, he's the top guy in WWE, right? So
CM Punk wasn't there. Cody wasn't there.
No.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure
Cody's
people
got a big match to focus on. He can't be spending his Saturday night watching.
Well, I think the Miz was there too, but it's the Miz, so. But yeah, I feel like maybe people might feel different ways about it. But I mean, wrestlers, I feel like most of your favorite wrestlers probably would have gone if they got the invite. So don't feel so bad about the tribal chief.
Liv Morgan was at the World Cup, looking very interested and into the game whenever it cut to her.
Nice. There's a lot of these AI like fake cuts like of people. Like there must be this quick AI bot that you can type in, put a photo of yourself, and it makes a video and it makes it look like you're at the game. Have you seen these? It's quite a lot.
Yes, I have. Yeah, it's a bit of a trend right now, right?
Yeah. Well,
cutting to some baddie in the crowd, flicking her hair. Yeah.
you make our own. Put the frog there, sitting there. But yeah, I'll continue to watch the real sports. But I mean, FIFA is now going to take over with NHL and NBA both ending this past weekend. Like now it's just all full on footy going forward, and wrestling, and Forbidden Door, and All In.
Forbidden Door, Night of Champions, tournaments galore in wrestling, and we'll get into it all. But let's get some housekeeping out the way first. You mentioned we've got our King of the Ring review coming out on the Patreon this week of 1996, Austin 316, Ultimate Warrior, Jerry Lawler, Shawn
Mankind?
versus Bulldog, Mankind v Undertaker. Big show. We have that coming out. We'll be dropping tonight. And we've got our Jackass review coming up. We've got Great American Bash 1996 coming out. We've also had a recent episode of Was Next, reviewing the July 24th episode from 2014. Neville versus Rusev. We had our Kayfabe review quite recently, the mockumentary about an indie wrestling promotion, and plenty of Best Match Evers with Best Match Ever Tanahashi and Best Match Ever Hulk Hogan. And you can listen to this and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of more shows by going to patreon.com/Poisonrana. And if you want to find out about our other stuff up next, which goes live on Tuesday on Post Wrestling, our socials, our TikTok, our YouTube, our Instagram, just head over to poisonrana.ca for everything you need to know.
Absolutely. A little follow, subscribe, a little heart, a like, a download. It all goes a long way as well. You're like, times are hard. $5. It's a lot. Well, the $5 goes a long way. It gives you access to hundreds of all the wrestling movie reviews, everything in there. But hey, we get it. Times are hard. But you can help us out with the little likes, the follows, the comments all go a long way. So even dropping a frog emoji on a reel, on a YouTube video, just like this one, helps us out in many ways, more than one. So thank you to all the frogs out there who continue to support us. We have some nice shows lined up, including Great American Bash 96, Jackass, and so much more. But here on the free feed, we have a bunch of free shows as well. I did a detox this week with Jordan, talking about nothing, I'm sure, but check it out, as well as the reels that we've been posting. Shout out Seren WO, who's been helping us with some great content on our feeds. He's been clipping us up and making us look real nice. And hopefully he doesn't clip any of us talking shit about UFC, because I'm sure the comments on those videos will be
please do. Please do. I welcome the engagement, positive or negative. If you're clicking, you're supporting it. It doesn't matter if you're going, fuck you, you woke snowflake, you libtard snowflake. Like, bring it. I'm fine with it.
I don't usually get that, but I might today after what I was just saying. So,
Little woke boy on the right was when I was just chatting about Joe Gacy one week, and bring it. Bring it,
Yeah, no one's
losers.
ever accused me of being it, but maybe after today, it's fine. Snowflakes, just a bunch of Canadian snowflakes up here, eh? That's how
Yeah.
we do it. Well, check out our reels as well as TikTok and Insta. Again, it goes a long way. Just give us a follow and check out all the other stuff. And shout out our friends at Demand Lucha. I went to their show this past week.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we both went to their show. It was Gringo Loco versus Arez, aka El Clone from AEW, and they put on a pretty crazy match. But Demand Lucha always put on the most fun in the city, and I know they have a big lucha party coming in a few months. I think in August is their next one. So shout out Demand Lucha. If you haven't checked out, if you're in the Toronto area, look them up and get tickets to their next show. And no matter where you are, support your local indie wrestling, because the people you see there, maybe one day you'll be seeing on the big screens and in the big stadiums and arenas and so forth. So support indie wrestling. And we had a fun time. My new favorite, because I got tickets to Mystery Wrestling in Montreal and Toronto when they're coming. But who's that tag team we've seen? Fresh Air? The two guys?
They're great.
They might be my favorite. They might be my favorite guys to watch on the indies lately. The Clap Dem Cheeks thing, they dress like they're Run DMC and they like dance and stuff too. But then when it comes to the wrestling, like every time they steal the show so far. So I think they're the Demand champs and the Mystery Wrestling champs at the moment. But fantastic. Fresh Air. Check
We
them
also
out.
had a wrestler playing Aladdin came to the ring with a flying carpet, and that would be his weapon. So at one point in the match, he like throws the carpet in the face of one of the guys they're facing, and the guy has to act like it's the magic carpet from Aladdin. So he's like wrapping it around his face, kind of like Doctor Strange style with his cloak, like throwing that way. Wrestling's ridiculous. And then we had the ladder match with doors and. Was there glass? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, there was glass. Gringo Loco got hardcore. He was using glass.
Yeah.
And I think it ended up to his being put through it. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff in Parkdale. So shout out to Man Lucha. Shout out all the indie wrestling in your areas and go check them out. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes most times these shows are more fun than going to the shows in like the arenas and stuff. So I'll gladly go to an indie show over WWE any day of the week, but support your indie wrestling.
It's I met up with some like ex-colleagues who came to visit me at work before we went to the show, and I was like, well, I'm going to Parkdale Hall to watch some lucha wrestling if you want to come. And both of them lived in that direction anyway, so they're like, we'll hop in the Uber with you and go along. And they ended up staying watching the whole show, and first time going to wrestling.
I loved it.
One of my colleagues posts a little video that says, when you said you'll stay for one after work, and then it's Gringo Loco leaping off a ladder with
a
with
destroyer
a through glass and all that. Yeah. So they had a great time, but went to there's a bar we love, the Bell and the Beacon opposite, and their sandwiches are phenomenal. They bake the bread to order. So it's almost
good.
Like a pizza
The
dough,
Morty.
like sandwich. Yeah, it's
the Morty
incredible.
and the meatball. Oh, it's so good.
So went there with one of my like old colleagues. She's looking around. She's like, I know this place. And I went, yeah, it used to be Amico's. And she went, Amico's? And just started crying. And the bartender's like, hey, what's wrong? And she's like, this place used to be Amico's. And I'm like, yeah, but this place is great. They've done a great job here. And she's like, yeah, no, it's okay. Like they wanted to retire. Like we took over the place. We still like honor some of the stuff they had. And like, we're doing good things here. The community like us. We're still very much Parkdale. And she's like, okay. And I went, and their sandwiches are awesome. And they're like, she's like, yeah, and our sandwiches are awesome. She goes, but do you still do the Panzerotti? And just like, no, honey, we don't do the Panzerotti. And starts sobbing more. And I'm like, oh God.
The sandwich is kind of like a Panzerotti, like the way they
kind of
bake the bread.
it's kind of like a calzone, Panzerotti sort of thing. But lovely bar.
Someone's in the chat saying I was a regular at Amigos, but I think they mean Amigos.
Amigos,
Is that Matt Ross? I think, Matt Ross. Amigos is Parkdale is a part of Toronto. That's, what would you say? Parkdale's like a kind of grimy in a nice way. It's like a dive bar part of Toronto, essentially.
It's where real people live. if you
Yeah.
know what I mean. I
Yeah.
would say.
And crackheads.
I like that. Yeah, real people. Crackheads
Adds
are
flavor
people
to the
too.
city. Yeah.
Yeah. More authentic than the people lining up at King Street to
Exactly,
go in a
100%.
Ruby Soho
Absolutely.
on a Friday night, you know?
Absolutely. We support all the areas in our lovely city. But yeah, Parkdale used to be the heart, is kind of the heart and soul. We like Kensington Market as well here in the city. And it's funny you say like all these tourists coming in. Like some people do love to go to, you know, your hoity-toity King Street posh bars or clubs, but then some people come in here, and I've been seeing some of these people from all these other countries who are like flabbergasted, who are dropping to their knees, almost crying of joyful tears just to see a Taco Bell. So, you know,
Yeah,
apples and oranges.
German guy going to Waffle House in Gainesville, Georgia, being like, "This is amazing.
This is the best place ever." Fries Supreme. Yeah. Just, and then seeing the videos of some of the Europeans trying to get the like European cafe culture over here. So they sit outside a Dunkin' or a Timmy's trying to like sit on the patio with your espresso. It's not
a
quite the
cigarette
same.
and being told, no, you can't smoke out here. But I'm outside. Yeah, no, you still can't smoke.
Yeah, it's
just trying to be
good.
French.
It's been good seeing all the people showing up. So there you go. Yeah, shout out worldwide people, wherever you are. We love you all. Well, we can talk about some pro wrestling, talk about the reason we're here. There's a lot going on. It kind of feels like a quiet week. I say that, but every week is a busy week in the world of wrestling. We do have a lot to look forward to. In a few weeks, we have NXT Great American Bash. We'll talk more about that on Tuesdays on Up Next on Post Wrestling. But we got Forbidden Door on the same day. We got a TNA show. I know you're excited about. What else do we got? We've got the
Night of Champions, the championship match next week on SmackDown. I think next week's the last 3-hour SmackDown for a while. I might be wrong there, but yeah, they're beefing up that show with Cody v Gunther and Sami as the ref, and then Night of Champions. We've got the semis of the finals of the King of the Ring. I definitely felt. Where do you want to start this week?
Wherever you would like, whatever you're feeling.
I'd say WWE was more newsworthy this week than AEW.
Sure.
So maybe start there with Sami being added as the special guest ref for this Gunther versus Cody match. And I fully expect this to be a way to get to a triple threat at Night of Champions. But I kind of liked how we got here. I think Sami's been great at this. Slowly just going kind of insane, being frustrated at Cody. Had a great in-ring segment with Cody. I think both are two of the best actors on the roster. But I especially liked when Cody was basically like, "You're never going to be champion because I'm the champion, and you're never going to beat me." And that got Sami so worked up that he slapped Cody and is immediately apologizing. And for me, that felt very real. Like, I'm not someone who's necessarily like slapped someone out of frustration, but maybe I've slapped someone with my words and, said something like quite out of turn and nasty that I really don't mean, but it comes out. And the immediate regret of that situation with then Cody slapping him right back. But Gunther just being a shit disturber, making Sami the ref, because it's kind of like, I know, like, he has his history with Sami, but also Gunther's possibly like, well, Sami beat me, so Sami might favor me to win this because he knows he can beat me, whilst also he's getting more aggravated with Cody than Gunther. So I thought it was a nice little bit of business they had between these three this week. And I do think that these are the segments that have been carrying SmackDown for me more than most of the rest of the show.
Yeah, I think I said last week, like, I don't love this version of Sami Zayn, but this week was better. This was way better with the two of them face to face, and it made me want that match. Like, I think the last few weeks, I don't like I don't know, there's something about this character. It's like he's another whiny, before he was conspiracy theory. Now he's wearing what, the last real good guy kind of thing, which is funny because how many people do the last real bad guy, or like there's so many types of like bad guy this, where he's like, I'm the good guy when he's the psychotic heel who thinks he's the good guy, right? I thought Cody like put the knife in and twist it when he's like, you will never get this. You will never get this. You will never be WWE champion is pretty much how he said that. And I was like, damn, that was pretty straight to the point of this story. And I think that made it get a little, it ignited it for me. I'm like, all right, just do this match next week. You're the ref now. Clearly there's going to be some sort of fucky finish where we get the triple threat. And I think that's a way more interesting dynamic. So yeah, Sami got me back with Sami and Cody. I thought this week we're good with the promo.
I think as well, it's, you know, we're like, what, 4 years Cody's been in the company as like top babyface, and yeah, there's sprinklings of booze sometimes, like in his WrestleMania matches or whatever. But in general, he's still pretty over as a babyface. And I think it's moments like this where Cody came across a bit of a dick in this segment. Like Sami is as well, but Cody wasn't just like the honorable white knight. And I think it's moments like that that keep him still popular, because he can get like a little nasty, a little dirty if he needs to. And I think it keeps the character way more interesting than just the always does the right thing, white meat babyface. Where do you see like the title changing at all in the next couple of weeks?
I don't know. Like, I know we flip-flopped with Cody with, what was it, Drew before WrestleMania, and then now he's been on this run, right? I don't feel the Gunther story is as hot. I feel like this story is almost more interesting with Sami. I mean, just off of this one promo exchange, I'm like, oh, I think I'd rather just see the singles match, which can't be the SummerSlam match because we know someone else is probably going to be that from King of the Ring. So I wonder if this all leads to the triple threat at the pay-per-view, but then ultimately like a singles match between Cody and Sami. And if that's the case, then like, would that be on a SmackDown or a Saturday night's main event or something like that instead of SummerSlam? Like, I think they could do, this shows that they could do a good job of promoting Sami and Cody. I think the one thing is it's another notch of the belt of the boy who cried wolf chasing for the title again. But the match would be really good. Like I said, I think last year, be all end all here. My end game of this would be a ladder match between these two. Do what you did with Kevin. I mean, even right here, I think that's what I said last week, but in this promo, he's like, you're not Kevin Owens, essentially, is what he said to him a few times. And like, you don't have that dog in you, essentially. So maybe Sami's got to eventually snap and not be the good guy or do things that he thinks is the right thing. But ultimately, I would love to see Cody and Sami in a ladder war. It'd be great.
So, I mean, it's not 100% that the winner's going to face Cody of King of the Ring.
Oh,
it could be
true.
Roman's opponent. And, you know, if you, let's say CM Punk comes back for the Cody match. CM Punk comes back as a heel, TKO shill, going against Cody. Like, maybe that doesn't need a title, Cody v CM Punk. And in which case, maybe you do have a bit of a title switch, whether it be Gunther or Sami going into SummerSlam. And you can have Cody with a more of a grudge match, one-on-one. It'll still feel like a main event. You know, we have seen in the past, like, you know, Gunther Jey Uso, where it's clearly, there are clearly bigger matches than it, but you can kind of beef up those characters a bit by having the belt involved. So I do find it interesting. We're a couple of months out from SummerSlam, and I think there's a load of possible matches, and they're going to want to beef it up because it's 2 nights, but there isn't really a clear direction, which I think has helped the TV the last 2 weeks, I'd say, where there has been a marked improvement, at least in kind of trying to see where these characters are going and who is going to be the tournament winner, and are they going to face Roman? Are they going to face Cody? Is it going to be Oba doing double duty and beating Brock one night and Roman the next, or something like that? Is it going to be Jey Uso taking on Cody? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, I do think Jey Uso wins, but the story. What did Roman say a few weeks ago? Like, go get the title from Cody, right? Like,
Yeah,
go
he's
after.
like, you've tasted this one, you
Yeah.
need that one, and there are two heads of the table, basically.
So what if Jay goes and wins, and then goes, actually, I want to face you, Roman, and is that the SummerSlam match? Which, like, we've seen
Jay Roman.
Yeah. Jay, anyone.
I mean,
I honestly don't want to watch.
No, me neither. They are. I mean, I know it's your favorite topic to talk about, but you know, there is a lot of bloodline stuff going on, and Jacob being sent to do Roman's bidding and trying to get Solo back into the bloodline. Meanwhile, Solo's trying to get Royce Keys in the MFTs, which I don't know, is maybe Royce has a little bit of Samoan in him that we don't know about, but I feel like we might be going towards some sort of, you know, wolf pack bloodline thing. Unfortunately, it never stops. But if that is the case, is it, as you said, could it be Jay versus Roman, or is Jay your pick to win this thing then?
Everything you said just now just was awful to my ears. Not you, not your lovely voice. Don't get me wrong, but just everything you said just makes me not want to. Why does it? Is Donald Trump part of the bloodline now? Technically, is he bloodline adjacent? Could do something like that. Would get him involved. Yeah, all those things sound bad, but I do think we're gonna move in. Like, Fatu needs something to do for, like, and maybe he leads. I mean, maybe he takes the Usos away from Roman. I don't know. I genuinely don't care about any of this. I liked the fact that when Roman, what was the last match? He was on his own, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Think of the the WrestleMania match. He did it on his own, kind of thing. And I think that was way more interesting than any of this reheated nachos of Bloodline. I'm just so over it. It's instant. Don't care. Skip mid, skip. That's how I feel. But any of those things, sure.
Like they
do it on purpose.
No, I feel like they told this story with Solo, and then they hired Jacob Fatu, and they're like, fuck,
he's better.
Fuck, we cast the wrong guy in this story, didn't we?
Yeah.
Let's give it a year, and then we'll just do it with Jacob Fatu. And we're like, we've seen this. The casting's better, but it's still a remake of something I don't want to see.
I've seen this one. It's a classic. What do you mean it's brand new? No, it's not. It is not.
What do you think about Oba going on to win and doing double duty at SummerSlam?
That would be way more fresh, way more exciting, but I just don't know. So fresh, so exciting. I don't know if they would do that. Like, I know we've talked about, like, imagine you did 2 nights where Oba beats Brock and walks out as champion, or the other way around. I don't know.
It's I mean, it's strapping a rocket. Like, it's clearly strapping a rocket to the guy. And I just feel it's kind of, that's a great bragging thing. You know, the guy that beat Roman and Brock in the same weekend.
You'd have him beat Roman?
Sorry?
You'd have him beat Roman, yeah.
I'd have him, I'd go all the way with him. And it can be like Jericho. You know, I beat Austin and Rock on the same night. That kind of thing where you just absolutely strap him up.
Yeah, like, he already is one of the most over new stars and new characters since WrestleMania. Okay, he lost the Brock match in Italy, but that doesn't mean anything. And I still feel like he's one of the big characters right now. I would definitely have him in a big match. So what is the bracket right now? It's Oba, Femi, and Dom, right? So, like,
Oba, Femi, and Dom, and then
Javon
it's Javon and Jay.
So maybe all this talk that we've been saying of, like, Jey Uso, this. What if Javon and Oba are your 2 finalists in this thing?
Be cool. It was great in NXT, you know.
Yeah.
I see Dom could be a spoiler, just the kind of character Dom is, and Oba getting fucked some way, whether it's a Brock Lesnar returning or something.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But then who wins this thing? Because then Dom has to go and face either Javon or Jey Uso. So you're saying Dom wins the whole thing?
I say it's Jay or Oba are the picks, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say that too. But we'll see. We shall see what happens with some of these. I would like it to not. I would like it to not be able to see it, and I like it. It's funny because you said in the last few weeks of like having all these different people possibly going for the title. That's what I feel like AEW in the last few months have done, and in the last few weeks, it's switched. You see the brackets for the King of the Ring, and we're spending weeks being like, "Oh, it's going to be Jay. Is it? It's going to be Oba. Well, is it? It's going to be Seth. Oh, it wasn't Seth. Okay, well, where is this going?" Whereas you look at the and you're like, Will Ospreay, done.
It's like 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, we're like, "Oh, I guess they're doing Ospreay and Swerve at Forbidden Door again." Like we predicted every
move
stage of that bracket. There was no. Whereas last year, Hangman Ospreay, you could see it going either way.
Yeah.
And I think we were all at one point thinking, oh, it's Ospreay's. And then right before we were like, actually, it makes way more sense it to be Hangman this year.
Yeah.
But it kept it so unpredictable. So yeah, I give credit to WWE. I think they have made this tournament somewhat interesting because the vision isn't clear.
I'll say that, but of course I'll stay on my negative Nancy tip because I think the plus side is having these other characters and not. I think right away I was like, oh, it's probably Seth, right? And then it wasn't, and it's like, okay, that's good. Now we're thinking it's Jay, but then now we're like, oh, we don't know where it's going. Whereas AEW's is right away, like the brackets felt small. We bang on about how it should be the other way around. The Continental Classic should be the grueling tournament that gets you the main event in the big stadium show for the title. Like it's kind of all backwards. And this tournament, the Owen this year isn't like last year. It kind of just feels this is Ospreay's win, and this is the vehicle we give it to. That being said, the matches I've watched in this King of the Ring tournament versus the matches in the Owen, kind of night and day for me. Kind of like, oh, okay, I know Ospreay is going to beat Samoa Joe, but the match was awesome. I know Swerve is going to beat Brody, but the match was good. Some of the four-way matches have been better than some of the other TV matches, but still, like the quality, the level there is a bit drastic for me. So I think it's a little backwards where I'm like, wait, I think we'll go into AEW talk, but with this whole Forbidden Door pit stop, it's actually fucking up the vibe right now for me. They've been on this crazy run, and now we got to hear about Stardom and all this shit I don't care about. I'm like, unfortunately, it's a fork in the road where now WWE's like, hey, look, we're doing a tournament and actually doing it the right way, which kind of feels like the old school thing. If you're saying Oba, like Brock winning King of the Ring, going on to face The Rock at SummerSlam and beating him was like, whoa, here comes the pain. And this guy's come in here like a fucking tornado. And you could do the same thing with Oba. Is that the best option? Would you pick that over everything else?
Yeah,
I think so too.
Like,
but then that's crazy.
I'm not. The only reason why I'm talking about the Jey Uso thing is, I watched the TV and that's the story they're telling, and that's the only other logical thing.
Sure.
It sounds terrible. Like I've completely gone off the Jey Uso wagon. I actually find him, like, not only do I not enjoy his wrestling, I find him unlikable. I find his character really unlikable.
Turn him heel.
And he's still popular, but he's not as popular as he was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Obafemi, I think, feels like such a breath of fresh air in the company. He's so over, and it's been so long since they've like strapped the rocket to someone. I thought there was a time I thought Braun was that guy, and I thought Braun Breaker should have come up and just steamrolled people. And they built him up in the traditional way. They gave him the IC title. They made him as tag champion, and it's that slow trajectory where it's like eventually in 5 years' time you might be the champion. Whereas I think you need to do what they did with Brock, with Oba, and that is go all in, and that is beating your two top guys on the same weekend and being champion. And then you can have, the rematch down the line is bigger. Like Roman's got that redemption story. Roman is like, this is the guy that can beat him in like dominant fashion. So you can extend that story for another big pay-per-view down the line at some point.
So what you're saying is Brock interferes and Dom wins.
Absolutely. Dom's going to unify all the titles at SummerSlam this year.
I'm just trying to look ahead. Like, you could do Jey Uso versus Roman and him picking Roman instead of Cody. that's a story of the bloodline. Like, oh shit, okay, whatever. I don't really care about it. But then also you could do that, opens up Cody to have the Sami Zayn match.
There
Or
is
someone
that
else.
like picture that went round of basically everyone who is celebrating with Cody at WrestleMania
Yeah.
40, and they've kind of like blurred out everyone he's
Yeah.
had a feud with, and Jay is the last one, right?
Yeah.
Like he's had that feud with everyone, and it's kind of a little stepping stone in the direction of when you eventually get to Roman Cody 3, right? It's telling a little bit of that story as well there.
All right, so night 1 of SummerSlam, Cody and Jey Uso. Book it. I think that's where it's going. That's, if I were to say, I would rather see the Oba thing, so I would totally want you to be right here, but I do think it's Jey Uso.
Interesting. On the women's side of things, we have Liv Morgan is going to be taking on Charlotte Flair, and Io Sky is going to be taking on Raquel Rodriguez in second round matches, semifinals. What are your predictions here?
Yeah, we did say last week, and I guess it's kind of a broken record here, but like, is it just going to the story of Io and Rhea one more time? Or have they been purposely doing the Charlotte Flair, hey, I'm your friend, I'm cool now, I'm a babyface, all to lead to like a bigger story? They have history, obviously, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, so I see it being either one of those two. Don't know if the Liv Morgan stuff would make sense. Kind of past that already. I would rather see the Io Rhea. Anytime those two lock up, it's magic in the ring. So I'd prefer to see that. But I think it would be a bit more fresh right now to go with Charlotte, if that makes sense. That's a crazy statement, actually, that I just said. But she feels like she hasn't been put in that spot in a while, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and they've been building up like the friendship with Rhea as well. You know, that is something you can go to, and now it's a different dynamic where it's two baby faces against each other. Maybe you turn Charlotte heel in that match. I think she's possibly had this babyface run for a little too long, but it's been a fine run for her. Like, it's because it came about naturally, you know, stuff that came out with her, what was it, Unreal and things like that, where people started to naturally like Charlotte again rather than them really forcing it. But I think it's maybe run its course. So have Charlotte screw over Rhea at SummerSlam, like go in babyface, have Charlotte turn and be the queen once again. But if that means we're getting an Io Charlotte final at Night of Champions, that's a match that, of the big combinations, I don't really feel we've had a major match or feud between those two.
True. Yeah, I didn't think about that. What if Charlotte cheats in that match? And then that kind of tips off the, like, Rhea being like, yo, what the fuck? You cheated, and now I have to... I would love to see
Io after the match to draw out Rhea or something like that.
Yeah. I would like to see Io and Rhea, because I would love for the story of, like, what is it, Kawada Misawa, where like he can't beat him no matter what, and then like there's maybe some asterisks involved where like Rhea turns heel or something like that. But she's popular. Why mess with that right now? I've told you, I've seen now even more Rhea Ripley shirts in stores. Like, I think I told you one time I went to a Hot Topic like a few months ago, and there's like 7 variations of Rhea shirts. I went into some other clothing store and they had a WWE section, and it was only Rhea Ripley. I'm like, damn, okay.
I was sat next to a guy watching the Germany game yesterday, and just chatting a bit, getting to know each other, and he, like, podcasting came up, and he was like, "Oh, wrestling, cool." He's like, I'm trying to think how he worded it, but it was essentially like, okay, so what is a Rhea Ripley, and why do I keep seeing it? And I'm like, oh yeah, she's super popular. And it's like,
Riptide.
Yeah, I understand why. And he's like, why is it? I was like, I don't know. It seems to be like she makes straight women question their sexuality. And he's like, oh, okay.
And straight men, I guess.
And she's a good wrestler as well. He's like, oh, cool. He's like, I just keep seeing her name and like pictures and videos popping up, and I'm like, she seems cool, but I don't know, like, is she as popular? And I'm like, no, she is pretty popular right now.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
So I don't know. I wouldn't turn her heel right now. I think I'd keep her babyface. So maybe Charlotte, as that pains me to say. I think it should be Charlotte.
The queen.
That's right. Natural selection right there.
There was some other cool stuff on SmackDown. I quite enjoyed Axiom versus Ray Phoenix. Phoenix, they've kind of dusted off from the back of the shelf and realized he's a pretty good toy to play with sometimes.
Well, it's probably his Twitter. His what was his? What is the greasy wheel gets the grease? Because he was on social media being like, "Oh, I'm in jail again." Except that it's Paul Tomino. What did they call it? Guantanamo Bay or whatever. Yeah. When he was on the other side, I'm sure they got a name for Paul over here, but I guess that maybe had something to do with it. Of like, well, you're actually really good, so we should put you on TV. So good for him.
Defending the cruiserweight title. So yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that. And I like the mid card they're building up with the like Trick, Ricky, and Trick, Ricky, and Carmelo all going for the US title. And Little Yachty is just a full-time manager in WWE now.
Yeah, it's funny. I know, like he doesn't necessarily make music like lately. Like in the last few years, he hasn't necessarily had like a hit really, but I can tell that he loves wrestling and he's like so invested into it. And I think some reports, Trick has said in some interviews, like Yachty has also like put a lot of his own money into this, like flying out to different places, and because WWE doesn't buy your hotels and flights, so you got to get your own, Yachty, get your own boat, I guess. But it is cool to see. I have listened to him, like he would put out songs maybe like almost 10 years ago, and I feel like in the last 5 years he hasn't necessarily been a name that's come up, maybe like helps people write some stuff or whatever. But it is cool to see him just genuinely love doing this, and you can tell like he's not a fake fan at all. So I do got to give him respect, and I think then some of the segments he's done, he's come across pretty confident and charismatic and stuff. There's been a few I haven't liked, but there has been some stuff like I thought he's been good. So.
I mean, man, if I was rich and famous and like I'd be like, I'll hang out where are we this week? Sure, I'll hang out on Friday and be backstage at wrestling, come out for 5 minutes, talk a little bit, like hell yeah.
And I don't get mad at him as much as I felt like about the Jelly Roll stuff, and they totally dropped that. But like that was involving your world title, so like that's why it pissed me off. Where it's like
he's enhancing the presentation of Trick Williams. It's not a Little Yachty storyline that's going on with him eating up TV. Is it?
I loved, was it this week with the kid in the crowd dressed as Trick? Oh my God. Yeah. Like that's what it's all about, man. Like that was so great. You could see Trick's just was so lit up.
Trick's trying to dab him up and he's like, come on, like slap my hand. And the kid's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good. Yeah. Gotta we should dress up like Trick when we go to our next show. But yeah, I've been loving Trick. Yeah. He's gonna be WWE champion one day. Like no problem. He's got to be one of the quickest rising stars as well. But been loving him on TV. It's kind of great to see that. Anything else from WWE?
I think they're the major talking points this week, unless you want to get into some behind the scenes stuff with lawsuits, etc.
Well, there's CM Punk.
Oh right? Yeah.
What in the world is going on with CM Punk? Where in the world is CM Punk? We talked a little bit on Tuesday just because the whole internet wrestling world was going crazy this past week of allegations, or not, I shouldn't say allegations, but conspiracies of, is he off TV for a reason? Why haven't they been mentioning him on WWE TV since that Raw after Mania, since losing? Where has CM Punk been? What's going on with CM Punk? And we did a big chat on Tuesday before talking about NXT on Up Next about like kind of where we were with this of like, kind of just sounds like he's coming back for SummerSlam. And now it seems like he's just...
go back a bit. There was the tweet that like a long thread of tweets about all these possible things. And the Twitter handler did say like, these are rumors, but these are like rumors I've heard a lot of. And, talking about, maybe politicking for something to happen at WrestleMania that rubbed TKOXX up the wrong way. There's talks of maybe him or AJ Lee asking to take the pay cut, him just being disgruntled, no creative plans, etc., etc. Since then, and since we spoke about it on Tuesday, we have had the likes of, Fightful, etc., saying that they couldn't verify any of these rumors. Like, they haven't heard anything of it. A lot of people like scoffing at some of these rumors. But a detail coming out that AEW essentially said never say never with is that bridge burnt? And then Jack Perry tweeting out a picture of a bridge being on fire. So yeah, we're a few days, almost a week on from Tuesday when we last talked about it. Has your opinion changed? Stayed the same? Like, what are your thoughts on old Punker?
Yeah, Jack Perry, man. Is his contract coming up for renewal in AEW? I feel like yeah, he's a lifer over there, but he's the one guy that I guess can't let that go. But no, I feel like this was all some smoke, and I just feel like maybe things got out of hand with people online speculating and everything. I couldn't imagine him not coming back to WWE after this past run, especially the match with Roman at WrestleMania. And I don't know, like, there's money to be made here. He's got to be one of, if not the top, like, draw. If it's not him, Roman, or Punk, right? Like, Punk, Roman, and Cody, I'd say, are the top three, like, big deals right now in WWE. And if there's still money to be made and the Cody match to be had, then I don't see him leaving. Now, my opinion of him has changed over the years, especially since coming back to WWE in the last few years. I don't think he's quite the guy that people think he is, especially over the years, or maybe his opinions have changed, or he's just changed as a person. I don't know. But he could come back and do a whole TKO heel turn, heel run, be the guy, the corporate Punk, the machine that he always, fought up against. I feel like maybe that's not a bad thing to try on TV. I think people have their views of him, already. So maybe you could go into that. But I want to see him back, obviously, on TV, because I think it's just good for like the business, and I think he had a great match again at WrestleMania. But I also don't want him coming back and being this same guy. I would like a little pushback from him. I would like for him to be a little vocal, the voice of the voiceless, right? I would like him to crack open a Pepsi and maybe explain some reason, explain himself a little bit. I feel like he's been lying down, and he's been not the guy that, like I said, that people think he is. And I don't know, maybe he could voice some things and be open with some people. Like, hey, yeah, I did Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I wanted to get paid. Yeah, I bought a new house. Like, I want you to maybe answer for some of the things that people say for the last little while. But I do suspect, I do imagine he comes back, and I'm sure he'll come back and it'll just be business as usual and like nothing had happened. But the other side of it, the flip of the coin, like, I would like to see I would like a little rumble in the junction. I would like if there was an issue. I would like if he went, you know what, TKO, screw you guys, I'm going home. I don't know. I don't see that happening at all. But would that not add some classic CM Punk drama to the story, to the mix? Like, I don't see him ever going back to the AEW at all. I definitely think he retires in WWE. But never say never, I guess.
Yeah, my opinion's kind of pretty unchanged from the other day. Like, I'm not, and that's not me saying that all those rumors are true, but I feel maybe there's been some ruffled feathers backstage between him and TKO. I don't think enough that he's leaving. I don't think enough that he's requesting he wants to go or anything like that. But maybe it's extended this cooling off period a little bit longer than expected. I do see him coming back for SummerSlam, and as we were like speculating around, maybe it is Cody you do that with, and that would be an opportunity to change up the character. He has been this character since his return, not to WWE, but his return to wrestling in, what was that, 03, 02? He's been this same CM Punk, and I think there's a lot of fun you can have with heel Punk moving forwards. So, yeah, I still kind of maintain where I was. Like, I feel something's happened. I don't think it's necessarily anything huge. I don't think it's anything nearly as bad as the AEW stuff. But it's probably surrounding money and creative rather than, I punched someone and a dog bit me or whatever. It's I think there's maybe something in there.
I would like, okay, he was at the Netflix fight for Ronda, but he wasn't at the White House, right? No. Like, I feel like
he wasn't, get a lot. He wasn't at the TKO event, was he?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I definitely see him being on TV again soon, and SummerSlam would obviously make a whole lot of sense. Being 2-night stadium show, he would be a reason people buy tickets, I think, for a big stadium show if he were to be announced for a match, or maybe he shows up before then, maybe he shows up at SummerSlam. I don't know, but I don't.
And if it's not Cody, who would his program be?
True, like if he's not coming back for Roman, if he's not coming back for Cody, I don't know what it would be. Because then what are you going to do? Have the match at SummerSlam against Cody this quick? Like, yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it that fast. I would wait for a WrestleMania, but that's still such a long way away. But what else can you do with CM Punk? Come in to get the U.S. title off a trick? Come in to go just feud with someone for other than a title for a little bit, and then maybe go back into that picture. But yeah, I don't know. I do see him coming back. Bridges burned aside. It'd be crazy to get that Hangman match at an All-In, but I'll keep dreaming. I guess. Just imagine that. Like that's the big match, Hangman and Punk. Just from the shit talking in the past. And
definitely Jack Perry Punk at some point.
I saw a great tweet this week, and I think we both have made the joke to each other. Like, do you think CM Punk has seen Rocky movies yet? Any of them? I don't know.
I mean, he's had enough time off, hasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. You can watch all of them. Yeah, I think this is all. I think this was all something blown out of proportion, or people just being internet wrestling trolls. And I do think Punk comes back, but that's just me. And I almost want it there be something. I want there to be some juicy drama. I want there to be him talking shit about TKO. I would much prefer that, but I don't think he will. He's getting the bag. Why would he? Why would he rock the boat? Don't bite the hand that feeds you, I guess, right? Just take it laying down, Punk. Bend over and do all the things that you don't want to do, or the things that you once fought for against, and just be the company man. Just do it. It's corporate.
Or we're getting Punk versus Pat McAfee.
Oh, fuck off. No, thanks. Put Punk in the bloodline too.
Yeah, sure.
So there you go. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Probably.
Yeah. Does CM Punk come back, or could the olive branch for the elite still be there? Probably not. I could never see him going back there, but never say never.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't fire him on his wedding day, did they? So.
No.
They fired him on the birthday instead.
Did they actually?
Yeah, September 3rd, he got fired. I was eating barbecue, and I was like,
maybe
he
should be punching people. I don't know. Like, fuck,
yeah.
Dude. Like, yeah. I'm not saying Jack Perry is literally lighting the world on fire, but he seems to be lighting some bridges still that could be there. But yeah, I never say never in wrestling, but I would say he never shows up in AEW again, as much as I think it would be fun. Book it.
So we had an update in the Janel Grant lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE, with it being mutually agreed that the case is going to go to arbitration, private arbitration now. So,
Can you explain like I'm 5?
So, like, there's public court where you can attend public court trials and things like that. This is basically going to be behind closed doors with lawyers and discussing, and probably reach a settlement of some sort. So we won't know. We won't know what happens. We won't know. I don't think we'll necessarily know what a settlement agreement will be. So it kind of it saves Vince from having like public humiliation and possible like criminal charges. It's looking more like that, and I'm no expert on this, but it's looking like there'll be some sort of payout for Janel Grant.
Yeah. Okay. Like, I think that's where most people would see that going from the get-go, right? Like people were like, well, will he ever have a day in court? Will it ever? And the answer is a day we won't know what happens, I guess, going forward. But yeah, the rich people, old rich white guys pay their way out of anything. Seems to be
it's a shame. Like I can understand from her point of view. It must be like just an awful, exhausting experience. Like you don't need to look online too long before you see, like, just look at any of Brandon's or John's articles and read the comments below it. Like, it must be a horrible ordeal for her. Like everything she went through at the time and now reliving it and then getting called all sorts of like nasty names online and stuff. Like, it must be horrible. And I can imagine getting to a place where you feel quite defeated, and you know, WWE and their lawyers are going to drag this out as much as they can. Like, it could go on another year or 2 years or whatever, these kind of things. But
yeah.
On the other side, like, man, I wish he'd have his fucking day in court and, you know, pay properly for what he's done criminally, and yeah, have that public humiliation, get what he deserves, because he can write a check and he'll be dead in 5 years, and he's got away with it, really.
The thing is, I think also adding fuel to a lot of these comments, since this whole thing has started, a lot of the comments are really disgusting, but a lot of them are, she's just doing it for money. And now this is going to go possibly to a settlement. That's only going to get those types of people to be like, look, see, she did
exactly
just do this for money, right? But yeah. Well, people are going to have their opinions, obviously, about that, but I think it sucks that we didn't get Vince actually in court, like seeing, like you said, answering for some of these things. It's just, again, paying your way out of something that we've seen him do quite.
Which seems that happened in the other lawsuit as well, the shareholders lawsuit.
Shareholders, yeah, he's just a classy guy. Him and his mates and his wife.
Did you see the stuff about so that it was leaked, the original emails that were sent to the Wall Street Journal, and did you get a chance to read them at all?
No. What do you mean? What was this?
So the thing that like kicked off the whole Janel Grant story, if you will, was anonymous emails being sent to the Wall Street Journal saying that Vince was doing this awful stuff. There were was pretty poorly worded email, and saying that she was on Percocets and going through a rough time, and he employed her and financially helped her, and then started fucking her. Janel Grant says that she wasn't friends with anyone at that time, and she wasn't on perks and doesn't know who sent this, but a former board member pretty much implied, I'm pretty sure it was Nick Khan who leaked these emails.
Whoa.
Now that's all speculation. There's no way we can prove that. Anyone can really prove that, but it's it kind of lines up with a series of events going along around that time. And we've seen these text messages being leaked, and it very much seems that Triple H is Nick Khan's pick and his guy. And we saw the power plays. We saw Triple H kind of take over and then leave and then come back. We saw Steph retire out of nowhere. The board unanimously saying, we do not think you should come back, and writing that letter. And then, fast forward, some board members change and Vince is back in. So it very much could have been a bit of a power play from Nick Khan with these, emails that leaked.
Coincidences, coercion, conspiracies. Yeah. These fuckers, man. these old rich white fuckers. Again, they'll just do whatever they want, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It makes me icky being a WWE fan on top of all this shit, like the White House stuff, the TV not being great. I don't know. I continue to bang that drum. I know it's a negative thing to be like, why do I need to invest my time and energy, and most fans' money into this stupid, like, look at all this stuff. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be entertainment, but when there's all this Succession type shit going on, you're like, oh man, why do I even?
Sometimes you just don't want to know how the sausage is being made.
Exactly.
You know?
Look, I love my Costco glizzies, but I don't ever want to know what they fucking put in those things.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I'll continue to feel the ick of WWE with Vince gone. Still, it's still there's other clowns running the circus, aren't there? So yeah. Anyways. More on that. I mean, shout out Brandon Thurston and John Pollock and Post Wrestling WrestleNomics. Like, holy shit, man! Like, Brandon Thurston he's a killer. He's coming after them. He doesn't let them breathe. He's got to be like he's been the only one that's like been pushing and poking at this stuff, and like all the power to him. And obviously, I said explain like I'm 5 to you because this stuff isn't the most easy or you know. Easiest to digest and understand, but Brandon Thurston and WrestleNomics do a fantastic job, and also postwrestling.com. They're always posting and keeping updates on everything involved in the shareholders, Janel Grant, and everything else. But yeah, Brandon's been killing it for sure on that front.
Absolutely. Anything else related to WWE before we move to AEW?
No, other than The Miz hanging out at UFC. I'm surprised there wasn't more wrestlers there, actually. I was definitely thinking they were going to show more TKO staff, but I guess some people were maybe worried if they show, or maybe they weren't invited. There's only so many seats, but yeah, I think that's it for WWE this week.
All right. Well, we had AEW. We had Will Ospreay. Swerve advancing. He'll be facing Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door after defeating Brody King. And we had some Forbidden Door announcements. I will say I thought this week's episode kind of killed a streak of some really good AEW episodes, and I felt like I was watching Collision on Wednesday. I thought it was a pretty lackluster show, unfortunately, and I've been really enjoying their stuff recently.
What did I say? What was I saying? Like, they've been on this rip. They've been like crushing the past few pay-per-views, the TV, like they've been on a run. And then, we have to do this Forbidden Door. And it just halts everything. I watched Dynamite and I thought it was such a lackluster episode. But then it seems they tried to bulk up the Collision. So I watched Collision before recording today. And I felt like if you took the best stuff from both of those shows and put them on one show, that would have been a phenomenal episode of AEW. But instead, there was 2 episodes that had all this fluff and stuff that didn't matter. And that's how I feel about this Forbidden Door pay-per-view like cycle here. It feels like we're off track. Like, you're going so far off track. We just had an epic conclusion to MJF beating Darby after Darby beat him. That feels like it's completely dropped. You had Takeshita have his brother, his friend, his lover, turn on him at Double or Nothing. Kyle turning on Takeshita.
Oh, yeah.
That fucking feels like it never happened. It's like completely like forgotten about. Like, what is going on with some of these big stories that as soon as the pay-per-view happened, we're going into Forbidden Door. Better talk about, Stardom in New Japan. What? Why? It's like your favorite TV show. Like, imagine your favorite TV show, and there's a cop show, fucking SVU, whatever, and Breaking Bad. And for the past few weeks of this season, there's this big storyline going on, but this episode this week has some guest stars of a show that you don't watch, and now we're going to put all the other stuff on hold, and we're going to go into this fork in the road of all this other bullshit that I don't care about. I felt like they really dropped the ball with this one. No dog in a fight. This is still my favorite weekly TV show, but I am just like, why are we doing the Forbidden Door thing? It is cooked to complete.
I think
who cares?
Make it both work though. Like they broke the concept 2 years ago with doing Ospreay and Swerve, right? I think it's fine to have, the Tekla Stardom story makes sense on multiple levels.
Sure,
Because
it does.
there's no one fucking to face Tekla apart from Mercedes, and you're not going to burn that until
Absolutely.
Wembley. And that's due to injuries, but it's also due to most of the women's roster just not being over enough. So there is a built-in storyline with there. Like way before Forbidden Door season, Tekla's bringing up being fired from Stardom and fuck Stardom and all that. So naturally, that's something that works and absolutely should be on this pay-per-view. But I think they're being a bit too wishy-washy, because I think you can, like, exactly as you said, continue these storylines, continue the Takeshita Fletcher thing, like tell proper AEW storylines, which when you're not getting New Japan talent show up on these shows anyway, just have that. But then you sprinkle in a Tekla versus someone from Stardom. You sprinkle in a dream match, Zack Sabre Jr.
CMLL.
versus Kenny.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. Like, add, Mystico Okada or whatever. You know, like, you can sprinkle in a few things. But, like, instead we've got this Mark Briscoe MJF story, which, look, I like Mark Briscoe and I've enjoyed these matches, but it's not too long ago since we had this feud, which went on for a while. And this is most likely, I imagine, going to be a TV defense anyway. So we're doing this big, like, spruced up 6-on-6 cage match to just set up Mark Briscoe versus MJF part 6 on
I hate
TV.
it. Yeah.
Like,
I hate it.
It feels really shoehorned. The match was fun last year, but it really feels like, we can get through this pay-per-view cycle without a championship defense because we don't have enough story left yet to take us to Wembley, which is where we want to peak everything. So I think it's been a mix. I do think there's a way to make Forbidden Door work, but it's been bad creative, I'd say, like since the last pay-per-view in keeping things interesting. Pairing Kevin Knight up with Don Callis' family just feels backwards, and we're setting up all these like heel on heel challenges for MJF, which I don't know. I feel they're coasting a little bit and not really putting as much thought into their stories as they have in the past.
I feel like we've lost the plot here with this. Again, the last year, I feel like, of AEW, since All In, honestly, like even before the build to All In was really, really good. I've been loving every pay-per-view. I'm sure this pay-per-view will deliver too. Don't get me wrong. We're going to come out with being like, oh, these matches were great. Don't get it twisted. But you can't deny that they've lost the plot here. Like, why is it when someone finally wins a title, the story is just over? You don't know what to do with it. I'll say, Takeshita, my favorite wrestler to watch. Feels like an afterthought of an afterthought. Dude has not come out and cut a promo being like, yo, I won the belt, beating Okada finally, and then my boy turns on me. No mention it. Just throwaway off comments. I know he showed up last week to try to get Kyle, or was it this week? It was too late. It was like, no, this story's not important because you're telling me it's not important because it's just thrown away and forgotten about. You could easily do. Takeshita is one of the guys on your roster that is New Japan contracted as well. So that writes itself for Takeshita to come out. He's limited with his English speaking. Come out. Kyle Fletcher, you were my brother. You turned on me. Face me at Forbidden Door. All you need is Fletcher to go, nah, mate, I don't want to do that. And then you prolong that for All In, right? I imagine we're getting it at Redemption or All In, and I guess they want to save it and like they did with Takeshita Okada, like keep you waiting and hanging for you to finally see the match. Sure, but they don't even do that. They don't even have Takeshita be angry or happy that he won a belt or angry that his friend turned on him.
Join the conglomeration instead.
Yeah, like fucking stupid. And then on top of that, MJF coming off, you lost the belt to the guy that you've beefed with for years, and then you finally beat him back for it, and you didn't have to shave your head. Why are you feuding with Mark Briscoe? I love Mark Briscoe to death. This is totally not the move to do. This, like, do MJF versus anyone from CMLL at the pay-per-view. Mystico MJF on pay-per-view. I know we did the match last year in Arena Mexico. Do it here at Forbidden Door. Instead, you're doing a 5-on-5 who cares match with Blunt Plunder, all to get Mark Briscoe versus MJF again on TV. It doesn't make any sense.
Is this a way though to also like, you know, prolong this feud? Like, do you see Okada, Fletcher, and Takeshita being added to this match? Because, you know, it's Takeshita is now like kind of hanging with the conglomeration. MJF is paid to have Don Callis members, and it's a way you can keep the story going without doing the match. And then maybe it's Fletcher at Redemption, and then maybe it's the triple threat at All In. And
I guess
again, it's like it feels like they're treading water, and doing this 6-on-6 is just a way to kind of keep some feuds like the balls in the air a little bit, whilst not really committing to doing anything properly with it. The same with Darby. Darby's going to be in this match, so you're doing this Darby Kevin Knight match without doing the match, you know, because you can hold it off for another one.
It just feels so weird. Like you were on fire with some of these stories. Like you easily, seamlessly transitioned from, wow, Takeshita has beaten Okada. We finally did it. How long in the making was this moment? And then managed to turn that into an even bigger moment with Kyle turning on him. And then it just feels like they've totally dropped the ball here with this story. I just don't understand it all. I was very negative on this week. I felt like this week's episode was just, as you can tell in the tone of my voice, like I've been genuinely loving the run of pay-per-views, TV for the last year, I said. And now all of a sudden it just feels so, you know, what's the movie you love so much? The Last Jedi. Last Jedi, arguably, things are going good. You got Luke fucking Skywalker's back. You got bad guys, lightsaber duels. You know what we should do for 45 minutes of this movie? Let's get 2 characters no one even fucking knows or cares about. Let's send them off to a casino. For 40 minutes. That's what this feels like. Wait, why do I have to care about Starlight Kid? Okay, cool. She's sick. That match is going to be awesome. Stardom's catching strays for me randomly. But I'm like, who cares about New Japan? Even the New Japan people don't give a fuck about this because they're on Twitter saying, fuck AEW. We don't want to do this. Whether or not that's storyline, they're not doing a good job. And I genuinely am like, man, I don't care about this paper. I'm sure it'll be good. But like, you've got me, who's like, I'm one of the biggest fans. I'm watching every week. I'm going to the shows. I'm loving the stories. And you got me being upset. So I could imagine some of the casuals being like, what the fuck's going on here? We're going back to Mark Briscoe. Then we got all these people I don't know. What is this? And then on top, Shane Taylor Promotions. Get out. What are we doing? What are we doing? This was a bad week for AEW. There was some good wrestling on TV. And again, the wrestling on Dynamite and Collision, light years away from some of the underwater slow motion wrestling I watch on WWE. But this week's, the stories felt cold, dropped, going to multi-man cage matches. MJF was on this insane run, and now he's just pitter-pattering around with mid-cards and Don Callis family. I'm like, what are we doing? We're going backwards. We're stagnant here, where everything was firing off on cylinders. I hope we get some matches added. Like, Takeshita needs to be in a strong match, but you're right. He's probably just going to be added into this 5-6-man tag ladder thing.
Okay, so I engage in the chat's making a good point though. MJF's knee is probably worse than people think, so they have to have a multi-man plunder match to cover it. Right. We did see that last year, right? Like that cage match was like 6-on-6 with like 10 of the people being banged up, and Ospreay really not being in a condition he should be wrestling, but it was London and he wanted to be on that show. Kenny being banged up, Tanahashi being banged up. So maybe there's something to that. It's like we can save some of our people before we don't want to lose anyone due to injury this close to All In. Maybe there is an element to that, but
better put them in a cage match.
Well, yeah, but like lots of people, lots of plunder. Like but I still think like you can do that, but can we just make creative a little bit more interesting?
That's the thing. Look, again, I'll reiterate. I will be positive, I'm sure, once we watch this show and it ends, and I'll be like, yeah, that was awesome. There was some great stuff. Sure. It's just how we're getting here. It just feels, it feels classic. Like, we don't care about this cycle. And you could tell right away. It just post Double or Nothing, instantly the stories that had so much momentum just feel cold instantly. And like, how do you manage to do that? I don't understand. But the Takeshita Kyle Fletcher one is instantly the one that comes to mind. Like, what are we doing with that? If your boy just turned on you, wouldn't you want to be known that you want to fight him like right away? Fletcher, come out and fight me right now for the title. Nah, mate, I'm not fighting you. Drag it out. But you're not doing that. You're making it seem like none of this fucking matters. And they do that, and it totally kills the momentum. And yeah, I really think this Forbidden Door thing, they need to rejig and maybe move it a different time of the year or something. But like, why should I care about this? And so far, you've made it where I don't. You've made it now a few weeks where I'm like, fuck. And then, okay, the olive branch is look, it's Kenny Omega and Zack Sabre Jr. though. It's like, okay, fine, you got me with that match, but the story is, hey, the story, you don't need a story. Hey, you used to be lit, and you're a dickhead, mate. I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah.
Okay, sick. All right, whatever. We know that match is gonna be good, but still lazy. I thought the conglomeration stuff was lazy. I thought there were so many random Ricochet. Oh yeah, there we go. Ricochet's promo. Was it Collision? Yeah, Chris Jericho and I were feuding. Yeah, but now I got to go for some gold. And Takeshita, I'm coming for you. So, well, fuck. Well, I guess that's the match. Like, you just randomly. I don't know. I think the storytelling this week have been really bad. And I
oh
think
man, and then the Jericho Ciampa stuff.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk. That might be one of the worst segments this year. Again, rough. Derailing Ciampa here, who's been on a crazy run.
Ciampa, who is not a comedy heel, you know, like he was in SmackDown towards the end, and like that was one of the things why he left. But he shouldn't be doing this comedy frustrated heel shit. He should be the psycho killer who fucks you up, and he's being dragged into the Jericho vortex.
Oh my god! It's like they were just calling each other all these names, and it got awkward, silent at some parts, and I don't know. This
horrible.
I'd rather him come out on Wednesday and just try to sell me his NFT.
Does he have one?
Oh my god! In 2026, who do you think? Who do you? What a question. Yeah, Ciampa's going to be selling NFTs. Yeah, I mean, never say never, I guess. But yeah, in 2026, I didn't even know NFTs were still a thing in the year 2026. But Chris Jericho on social media has been sharing his NFT that's available for sale. And if that's not funny enough for you, just hearing that sentence, while trying to push it in the video clips that I've seen, he goes, yeah, I'm the first wrestler to sell NFTs way before other wrestlers start to do it, like Mox. And I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. You think John Moxley's going to sell an NFT? John Moxley would likely murder you.
John Moxley doesn't even buy wrestling boots. Like, I've heard Renee being like, I've had to like throw away his wrestling boots before because he just won't buy new ones. Or wear some like battered up ones with holes in the soles.
But he's gonna go shill some NFTs. Isn't that hilarious? That's the funniest thing that I've heard. Like, this guy thinks that, first of all, he thinks people are going to buy this, which maybe some people have. But then to say, other wrestlers, he named a few others, I think Sting, and he's like, but the John Moxley NFT, shut the fuck up. Jericho, I love you, but that's one of the funniest things you've ever said, because that is some bullshit, man. and then there's this segment from Dynamite. So, man, yeah, I feel like I'm interested in
I hate the thing he's doing as well, where he's like, talking and then bored and then continues talking ugly.
Right.
And like that stuff, it's so lame. It's like, I'm not like the Jericho honeymoon period wasn't very long.
It might be over
for me.
We were like, look, I'll lead that charge. I love him. He might be one of my all-time faves, and he'll go down as that. But fuck, what was that? And I'm not buying your NFT, man. Yeah. Is it time for him to go away already? He just came back. Fozzy got a tour.
Just give him Collision feuds. I'm fine with that. He can be on Collision.
I'd say Ciampa coming in to AEW already, like putting on awesome stuff. Jericho would not be in the top of the list of people I would want to see a feud with, and unfortunately, that's where we've we've gone.
Yeah.
I feel like Ciampa would kill him in the ring with those like offense moves he does, like the knee strikes and stuff. Like, can Jericho handle that?
The match could be fine. The match could be good. Like, Jericho's been all right. Like, the Ricochet stuff was cool, but like, I don't need to see segments like this. It's so bad, and just I thought actually undid a lot of good stuff you've done with Tommaso Ciampa. Like, it made him feel it made him feel like, you know, we've had Ciampa who's felt like the NXT black and gold, black heart killer, and then we saw him on SmackDown with the I am not an asshole t-shirt and getting frustrated when people call him an asshole. And this was way closer to that Ciampa than Blackheart to me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can turn around and have a good match. Like, I bet they know they stunk up the joint with that segment. I'm sure they'd maybe see some backlash online. Not backlash, but like people being like, yo, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any. I watched it and I'm like, what was that?
I've heard some people being like,
okay.
Yeah.
But you know what else happened though on Dynamite? Had to make sure I was watching the right show, because Mark Briscoe beats Pac, and then, oh no, he's attacked by Jay Lethal and the Swirl. I had to rub my eyes. What is this? Saturday Night Collision? What is this? MJF has hired Jay Lethal and the Swirl. Sorry, the Lethal Swirl to do his bidding. They better not be in that 5-man cage match.
Yeah.
And then Shane Taylor Productions was in one of the matches.
I think that was
what am I watching?
Like, okay, give me, like, you can give me one. You can either give me Shane Taylor Promotions or the Lethal Twist, the Swirl, like whatever, like
the Lethal Twist.
That's what they're called, no?
Probably, bro. I don't know. I think it's
pretty sure.
You're probably right.
No, the
Lethal Swirl.
Oh God, why do I know too much about the Swirl? The Swirl is Lee Johnson and fucking Trey Baxter, and then you add Black Machismo, and it's the Lethal Twist. I am not making this up. I've just back checked myself. Yeah,
Lethal
Jesus.
Twist.
Yeah. The Lethal Twist. Like, yeah, you can't give me. Come on, guys, you can't give me both of that in the show. That's
fool me
much.
Once. Yeah. Can't get fooled again. This is one of my least favorite Dynamites, I think. Just from what we've just said. Like, just what are we doing with this? And then we had Collision, where I don't know if you watched, but like
Kenny Omega. I didn't get a chance to watch Collision, but Kenny
Omega wrestles
on paper. It looked like a bigger show than Dynamite was.
That's what I'm saying. If you took the good stuff from this show and the good stuff from Dynamite and put them together, it would have been a really good episode. But you had Kenny Omega wrestle Bad Dude Tito, which we talked about before on New Japan. Just a great name. He's decent when he wrestles. I thought maybe he got a little too much offense in, but Kenny beats him and then calls out Zack Sabre Jr. But then, right before finishing his promo, he says, MJF, I'm still coming after that title. So that one throwaway comment, is that another ripple in the story here of the redemption story, the Kendemption, Kenneth coming back for the AEW gold, maybe, possibly at a show called Redemption?
I'd assume that's the main event of Redemption. Absolutely.
A rematch. Right? Like a rematch of Dynasty, but yeah. MJF since tweeted saying, "Hey man, why you keep my name out of your mouth, because don't forget I kicked out of your finisher." So maybe there is some story to be had there. But again, it just feels weird because Kenny here making it seem like I have to beat Zack Sabre Jr. because when I do that, that's what's going to get me a title shot. It's like, what? Bro doesn't even work here. What would beating him have to do with you getting a shot? Anyways, I want to see the match, so don't get me wrong. Zack Sabre Jr., Kenny Omega is going to be awesome, but make it make sense a little bit, I think.
Yeah. What else do we have from Dynamite? Oh, Maya World advancing in the
Maya World.
Sari unfortunately being injured and not able to compete. So Maya World last minute replacement, but then Renee informing us before the match that her brother had passed away that past week. And so was a nice moment. It's a shame they didn't like maybe show a video or something for this crowd before the match, because I'm sure most of them were watching this having no idea of like that fact with My World.
They did on Collision.
Right.
Yeah, like they played a video that you're right, that maybe if you played that video before the match to the live crowd, maybe would have added something. But yeah, they played a video where she explains herself of what happened, like her brother passing away, and then how Tony Khan was going to give her like a week off, and she said, no, I don't want to do that. And then they figured, why not put her like in this tournament kind of thing. So, you know, I feel for her totally. And we've seen in not just in wrestling, but in anything of anyone's calling, whether it's sport, art, whatever, sometimes that is the best, like, thing to do. Like, I think she says in this promo, it was pretty powerful. She says, like, why would I take that off? Why would I do that? My brother, he wouldn't want me to do that. He would want me to go and fight. So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And she like, think that's how she got into this job, right? Wasn't it she did the 3-minute match, right? Tegan Knox and all that shit.
Didn't want to wrestle.
Yeah. So Maya World's got the shiniest wizard here because she's gotten this opportunity, and that's kind of cool. And it's a story that they could use down the line to her advantage. So all the power to her. And Athena, her thing after was like, hey, I'm sorry about this, your story and everything, but that's not going to stop me from kicking your ass next week because I'm winning this tournament. So I think they added a little something there that was kind of special. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something from Collision, the Rascals had a tag match, and then they win, and then they bring out Myron Reed, who has a TNT title shot against the Jet. And I thought this match was great. Myron Reed, who like he's the least familiar I am with the Rascal group, right? Like we've only seen a little bit of him.
Yeah.
We watched MSK.
Yeah, he's the later.
Yeah, he's the newer one.
Edition. Yeah.
But he's so good. Like he was hitting some crazy looking moves. These cutters, this flying cutter into the ring was crazy. There was him flying all over the place. And I thought him and Kevin Knight had a fun little match. The only negative I have is I don't like how Kevin Knight's just another Don Callis dude. So it just kind of strips away the like
reduces him, I think.
Yeah. I love the Don Callis family, but I just think this actually takes away a lot instantly from this character. So I like the match, but I thought that Kevin Knight's lost something since joining this group. But
sorry, I was going to say you could get to Speedball Kevin Knight at Redemption by
right. He's probably in the cage.
Yeah,
match.
I would think so. Yeah, but I'm saying after the cage match on TV, Speedball can cost Kevin Knight.
Right. I would easily have Speedball versus Kevin Knight at Redemption in Montreal. No questions asked. That's the match. Like, yeah. And those two are going to kill it for sure. That's something to look forward to. But we're still in this bottle episode of whatever Forbidden Door is. I'm just looking ahead at all the great stuff I want to watch, but unfortunately I got to watch Shane Taylor promotions. Sorry, they're catching strays from me too, but like the Collision match was really fun with the groups versus group. There was a lot of violence and blood, and the thumbtacks and glass came out. There was some cool stuff. I cannot pretend to be invested in certain characters. Like this group doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. This was the best they looked.
It felt like, you know, they're in Cincinnati. It's Mox's hometown. And Tony Khan's looked up and down the roster and being like, is anyone here from Cleveland? Oh, Shane Taylor. And you know Shane Taylor's a match that, like, that's one of Mox's kind of styles that he likes. Oh, this guy's a boxer. Like, let's go. Moxley is funny because I think he's fantastic. I think he's a fantastic pro wrestler. I think he's a great promo. And, you know, he became my wrestler of the year last year, has had some fantastic matches. But when it's one of these death jitsu, blood sport kind of matches, I just get so bored. And it seems to open Dynamite every week. You hear the Death Riders drone and they come out, and I think all of them are good, but I think all of them are pretty boring as well. They can all be spectacular, but a lot of the time I'm just like, oh, and now it's a Claudio match. Oh, and now it's a Mox match. Yeah.
I thought the Collision match was more fun because that was the big group on group, like hardcore match essentially. And it was fun, but still it's like, man, these characters aren't on TV and all of a sudden you're trying to make me care about this. And that's the thing. There was a misstep this week. It seemed like there was a creative blip here of like, how did we get all these people we don't ever see? And you're trying to force them and tell us that they're important and we should care, but like, I don't think we do. So,
to open the show with it as well, like I think there's you want to open hot, like your champ or a big match or something. You want to close hot, and then you want top of the hour, and then the bits in between. Sure, you can throw in the Lethal Swell Productions.
That's probably what did it for me too. I was like, I'm done.
Shane Taylor's Lethal Twist, like
Shane Taylor's Lethal Twist.
But like kicking it off, like nah, like
yeah. It felt like a weaker episode. We do have matches announced. So we said the Team Briscoe, Team MJF, where it's MJF, Kevin Knight, and 4 more members, and Briscoe and 5 more. So we imagine it's the conglomeration in this match with maybe Speedball and maybe Takeshita. I feel like that's such a waste of some of these people in this match. I'm sure it'll be good, but I don't know.
It's going to be an incredible show.
Yeah,
like
I'm sure it'll be.
The pay-per-view will be fucking excellent. Like
I can't. It will be, but like, how do we get to Mark Briscoe back in the gimmick? Is MJF is like, yo, Briscoe, you're not world championship material. We did that storyline when he like last year, and then. Now it's you're not world champ material. You bring the ratings down. It's like, yeah, unfortunately, like Briscoe is not we love him, but like, come on, this is not the juiciest story we could be doing. They had to apologize to Stardom for Tekla spitting on the logo. So Tekla versus Starlight Kid has been added to Forbidden Door, which Starlight Kid is fantastic talent. We've seen her wrestle in before, and she's awesome. So I think this could be a really good match. I don't see her winning, but Tekla retains, right? Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, it should be a fun match. I haven't seen a whole lot of Starlight Kid, but I've heard great things. So yeah, that would be cool. As I said earlier, I'm perfectly fine with that. It has been a story of Tekla's, and there really isn't anyone else for her to face right now. But Yota Tsuji, who won the IWGP Championship again off of Callum Newman, he made some comments to
again,
Tokyo
more
Sports.
comments.
Yeah, saying, I think we must firmly protect what New Japan Pro Wrestling must not lose. Look back at the past. There were 4-way matches, open challenges, and retired wrestlers challenging. Do you think I would participate in an IWGP match when it's been treated like this in Forbidden Door? As the man who revived the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, I have to protect its value. So he's boycotting Forbidden Door and saying he won't defend his championship on the pay-per-view. And Will Ospreay, you would have thought he'd be busy, getting his suit ready and looking all nice, as congratulations, he married Alex Windsor today. But just a few hours before his wedding, tweeting back to Tsuji saying, or maybe have some pride in representing your company as the top lad. When I held any IWGP championship, I wanted to travel the world, calling out the best to show them all New Japan is better. Obviously, his home market is Japan, and he has done a great job at the top spot, but this screams to me insecure. The roster clearly isn't as driven as the guys I was once surrounded by. Just big belly boys wanting to keep playing free play. Grow a sack, fill it with some nuts, call out the best in the world, and show the world how good New Japan is. Just my thoughts.
Wow, so Will Ospreay versus Tsuji at Forbidden Door?
Oh, Osprey's facing Swerve.
I know, but after that, you're like, oh, like, what's funny? I did see these comments, and I thought Will kind of cooked him there, to be honest. Tsuji, you're great, but New Japan, you're in trouble. And Tsuji, unfortunately, you're not that guy. You ain't Okada. You're not, Nakamura. You're referencing the past Forbidden Doors, but think of how many people watch AEW and then started watching New Japan, right? Like, it does help having New Japan and AEW crossovers.
Yeah.
Okay, New Japan has definitely been dog walked in these Forbidden Doors. It's usually the New Japan talent losing in these high profile matches, but they're still being featured. They're still, like, if you ask AJ Styles, wins and losses don't matter really. So really, just being on the show is what, like, matters. And I feel like Tsuji, he has been anti AEW in his comments in the past, and I almost thought it was done purposely to, like, you know, to help stuff like this, to help a show like this. So these comments coming out weeks before Forbidden Door almost makes me wish it was Ospreay and Tsuji. And I'll continue this sentence because wasn't it last week or 2 weeks ago we were talking about Callum Newman and how I said this is actually great. Last week I said Tsuji, he's got a lot of work to do because, like, if he's the champion, or he wasn't the champion, but like these young guys have a lot of work to do because how many people are going to show up to the Tokyo Dome without Okada or Tanahashi on the bill? You might have to pull in Will Ospreay. You might have to pull in some of these things. And Will Ospreay's, some of the tweets that you didn't read was him defending, hey, would you guys have sold that out without Okada? And now arguments are like, well, you know, Tanahashi retiring. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, but we still had an AEW superstar on loan for that match. This upcoming January, what the fuck could they book that gets even half of 60,000 people in the Tokyo Dome? I don't think they're going to even get half people in there.
You know,
what, you're going to do Tsuji?
But, you know, like, having a Tsuji come over and do a program for Forbidden Door and hopefully impress, that would raise his stock and maybe raise interest in New Japan.
Of course.
Like, you know, if him or a Callum Newman or whoever show up and put on a phenomenal match at Forbidden Door, people might go, oh, that guy's their champ. I wouldn't mind watching more of his stuff, actually. Yeah. He was good.
Of course.
Whereas I think so many people, and I have heard, like, the last couple of New Japan pay-per-views, I've been hearing good reports about. I haven't watched them. I haven't had the time or the interest enough. But, you know, the people that do follow it, who I trust their opinions, have been like, you know what? The last pay-per-view was pretty solid. There was some good stuff on that. And you want to get those lapsed fans back in. And I know the US isn't necessarily a priority for New Japan, but it can raise a bit of star power and a bit of stock for some of these people by showing up on these shows.
You saying that doesn't seem to be a priority. I think they're realizing over the past 5 years that they tried to make the US a priority. Look, they're doing the G1 show in Chicago. Like, they're trying to keep that North American audience, and they totally should, but I feel like they've lost what New Japan actually was. Like, I feel like they don't know what New Japan is. Like, when I watch it, it's a lot of these British dudes running around. I'm like, what even is New Japan right now? And Tsuji should be the flag bearer. He's one of the best guys they've got. But I don't know. Like, for him to be like, oh, I'm boycotting it. Is it because they didn't book you, mate? Like, you weren't champion like a week ago, a few days ago. So, like, maybe you're actually butthurt that you're not a draw in AEW audiences, because you're not. I would say, like, it's just how it is. Was it last week? We were like, oh, how do you get Ospreay to wrestle at the Tokyo Dome? Well, he's probably got to have a match with his friend Callum Newman, right? That would make sense. The next step. But you said to me last week, how the hell are we going to get him in the G1 to face the champion? Well, now that's all thrown up in the air. So now all we need is them to have a non-title match at the Tokyo Dome. Like, I do imagine Ospreay wrestles, but maybe Tsuji Ospreay is the next big match because of this. Like,
I like Tsuji,
yeah. maybe we now go to this feud because they've started a real feud, or maybe they've been smart about their social media and turning a work into a shoot, or a shoot into a work, or whatever. But like, this already has more interest than anything Tsuji will do this year, because he's not the most exciting. His wrestling is fine, but like, I just think New Japan has drove me away as a fan. I tuned into Wrestle Kingdom. It was amazing. Tanahashi Okada. Some of the other stuff was on the cart. It was fine, but they're in trouble right now. And for that guy to be like, I'm boycotting, it's like, bro, I think wrestling fans are just boycotting New Japan because they're not watching it because it stinks because you don't have stars. So I would imagine AEW stars like an Ospreay is the prime example of who would show up at Tokyo Dome come January. And that only helps to sell tickets. And dare I say, you add a show with Ospreay on it versus Tsuji. Doesn't matter if it's North America or Japan. I think Ospreay is the bigger draw. So somehow get him involved into this. I think it's almost a shame that you couldn't just book that match now. If you watch Dynamite this week and they show the tweets of like, yo, this guy says Forbidden Door sucks, and Ospreay is defending him, boom, there's your match. But instead now we have this thing with the Owen Hart where it's like, yeah, we want to see the conclusion to this. But yeah, this whole Forbidden Door thing's a bit messy. And if the champion isn't going to be on it, does that mean other champions? Like, how many actual New Japan talent are we going to get on here? Because we got Zack Sabre Jr. announced. Bro ain't even Japanese, so like let's get some New Japan talent on this show, if that makes sense. I don't even know. Come what on, talent
Zack's been in that company for like a decade. Like,
I know, but like still, I'm like, that's the one guy we're gonna get.
I want to see their birth certificates. Where were they born?
A Canadian and a Brit representing both Japan, really, in that match, but. Yeah.
We do have a super chat. Yes, super chats are open. If you want to show any support, you can hit that super chat button. And we have a very generous donation of $10 from Jake from the Windy City. Thank you, Jake, who says, do you buy the notion that AEW raided New Japan? While there could be merit, the yen is not good, and the stars like Okada ravaged their bodies in an intense style for much less. Now he's AEW with more dollars. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like I don't think AEW are bad guys for paying people more money. Like that's business. And I think Gato has made the mistake many times of having contracts all end at the same time from big stars and not having committed to a longer contract than just a year and not offering enough and just creative fulfillment as well. Like what else was there for Okada and Ospreay to do in New Japan? They've done it all. There was nothing left to do. And, you know, if someone's offering you more money, you're going to take it. I don't necessarily think that makes AEW the bad guys in this. I think it's a wake-up call for New Japan, and they should have had that wake-up call with the mass exodus of AJ and Gallows and Anderson and Nakamura way back when. That should have been a moment. And then you had, shortly after the Bucks, Kenny, all of them leaving.
Yeah.
And you've had a few instances of these mass exoduses from New Japan where you would think Gato would be doing everything in his power to not be put in that situation again.
And again. And again.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, the top stars of New Japan then went on to become the top stars of WWE. AJ Styles being one of them. Nakamura, maybe not giant star, but still.
For a moment, yeah.
Okay. For a brief period, the top stars of AEW went on to now be the top stars in WWE. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Few other people that maybe are in that list. And now the main people who are the guys in New Japan are the top stars in AEW right now. So we need to balance it out. We need some top stars from WWE to go over to New Japan. And we need some top stars from AEW to go over to New Japan as well. Maybe WWE just buys them and solves this whole problem. Maybe they go, look what we did with AAA. You guys, we could really make a whole system. NXT Japan. We got the New Japan Dojo in there. I don't know what New Japan. You know what? The reason I feel like I'm passionate about it. We just did a few weeks ago our best match ever, Hiroshi Tanahashi. How good were those matches? How good did that make you feel watching the best of them? It made me miss that era, and I feel like we might not ever get that back with New Japan, unfortunately. So. There you go. We shall see what happens with the Forbidden Door and some New Japan talent. CMLL talent as well. I hope they announce, like, don't put Okada in that cage match. Just book Mystico Okada. Just do it. just book that match. Okada one-on-one with someone else. Callum Newman, I imagine, will be part of the show if Tsuji says he's not. You could easily put, like, Desperado. I think Gabe Kidd just recently came back.
I feel like we'll have some all-star 6-man tag match kind of multi-promotion thing going on, won't we?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's been fun. Like some of the previous Forbidden Doors where you've just got a wild, Sting and Hiromu teaming up. Like weird things like that was always a fun and easy thing you can do for Forbidden Door.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like who we even have in New Japan. Like I know Gabe Kidd, he does stuff with AEW. We had Shingo. He could have a big match if you were to book it that way, but I don't know.
Jun Kasai, John Moxley.
Fucking book it, man. I'll stop all my bitching right now. I will book a fucking flight, dude. I want to see that match so bad. That would be crazy, but unfortunately I don't think I would love to see that, honestly. But yeah, let us know what possible dream matches could they even actually do that would have your interest this year at Forbidden Door. But again, we're bitching right now, just being honest about how we felt about this week's episodes, and hopefully they can have a better week this week. But at the end of the day, Forbidden Door will definitely slap. It'll be an awesome show, but I kind of can't wait to get past it so we can get back on track to the stories that I actually care about, if that makes sense. So hopefully Redemption, we're on the road to Redemption. Is that a movie? Road to Perdition? Road to Redemption, hopefully.
Road to Perdition, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully the road to Redemption is a whole lot better and back on track to where we kind of were. But Forbidden Door, I'm sure we'll get some good wrestling. But yeah, they were finally killing it with the stories, and now they just killed the stories full stop to get to this pay-per-view. So hope we can get back on track. But there you go. That was our thoughts on some AEW from this week. Is there anything else in the world of wrestling before we get out of here to talk about? I think that was it. Oh,
Nothing
I
can think of.
Sticking on AEW, I saw that the MyAEW app, which I know we have subscribed to, I still haven't used it yet, Davey. I will now because they're adding indie wrestling to it. It's like their whole network.
Yeah, I think they've got one of QT Marshall's companies.
They've
been adding more.
But I got to shout out C4 Wrestling, our friends in Ottawa, who have now announced that they will be part of the AEW app. So yeah, that's a pretty cool move.
Sweet.
Seeing like the indie wrestling being added, and like some of these people, you see AEW stars on these shows, and then some of them, like I said, you never know when you go to these indie shows. Some of the wrestlers you watch and connect with eventually end up big stars in the world of wrestling. We've seen it time and time. So it's cool that they've added that to the MyAEW app. So there you go. Well, there you go. That was us talking about some pro wrestling today. I know we've went a little long, but thank you if you're joining us in the YouTube chat. Always appreciate us. Always appreciate you joining us in the YouTube chat. Drop a frog in the comments if you've made it this far. And we'll be back this Tuesday with a new episode of Up Next. We're on the road to not only Forbidden Door, but the Great American Bash. We'll talk all about NXT and everything going on. And then we'll be back next Sunday talking about whatever goes on this week in the world of wrestling. But if you want to hear more, patreon.com/Poisonrana, $5 to get hundreds of shows, our King of the Ring 96 review, our Jackass movie review, plus all the other wrestling shows that we do. $5. Check us out. Connects to your RSS feed and your podcast feed, and it buys us a beer and keeps the lights on here at Poisonrana Pod. And we can't do it without the friends and the frogs. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks again, Jake, for your super chat. Yeah, like and subscribe and write a nice little comment for us. It goes a long, long way.
Happy World Cup. Happy Pride. Happy whatever it is. Happy summer. All right. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye and be safe.
Ahoy!
Go Canada.